Hello and welcome to the new video. If this is your first time here, my name is Hannah and welcome to the new episode of the Hannah Show and the new reading vlog. Today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there, all the grandmas, all the mums. Here in the UK, we always celebrate Mother's Day on the last Sunday of March, so I guess 30th of March as well. But I thought it will be such a nice time to start a new reading vlog because we're going into April and I have already closed all my reading for March. I'm not going to be reading or finishing any more books in March, so I thought we might as well start this new reading vlog. And I'm gonna start this one with my library book because that was due on the 5th of April, but because I was reading the favorites last month and it's taking me a bit longer than I expected it, I had to renew this book. So now I think I can, my hold expires on the 17th or something like that. So I have started reading that yesterday, and to be honest, right, so this is Brandon Sanderson, and I have never read Brandon Sanderson before, and I know he writes very kind of like a adult epic fiction fantasy, and apparently this is more of a young adult fantasy, or just like aimed at the younger audience. And someone mentioned this book in one of the vlogs. I really can't remember who now, but they said they really enjoyed it. So I was like, I'll give it a go. It was available in a library, so I said I'm not gonna buy it, because if I buy it, it's just gonna go and sit on the shelves, and if I have it from the library, I will actually have to read it. So there it is. That's the library copy, and I've read 3 chapters yesterday, just under 20 pages. So we're kind of like on this island, and that island is not actually a real island, it's kind of just like a rock, and there's these spores everywhere, and apparently like if they get moist, if they get in contact with any liquid, they kind of like get in people's holes openings, etc, etc, and I can't, apparently they let them. So yeah, so people have to be very, very careful. And she has this friend Charlie, and Charlie is a son of a duke, kind of like the lord of the island or whatever. And Charlie, she knows that he's a son of the duke, but he pretends he is not, because he would be not punished, but it's frowned upon when he plays and spends times with Tress, when she comes from kind of like just like the poorer part of the society. This is really all I know. We'll see. It was the writing style of this is a little bit weird, and I don't know. We shall see. It's only been less than 20 pages, so I'll just keep on reading, but it's not horrible, so I'll just keep going, and I'll see how it goes, and yeah, I will keep you updated. I'm also reading a book for my self-distracting books. I will have to pick up an audiobook, and I only have like 3.5 hours left on BookBeat this month, so I might start something and then continue next month. I don't know, I will see. I'll have to think about it. Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House. I have this checked out of the library, Libby, on the Libby app, and it's due in 2 weeks, so I think I can easily do it in like the next 2-3 days. I enjoyed the previous one. It wasn't like groundbreaking or anything like that. I mean, the Final Girl Sport group, but yeah, I heard this one is okay as well, so I'll give it a go. It's on Libby, it's free, so it doesn't cost me anything, but it would be nice to kind of like take another book of my physical TBR. These are the books that I'm reading: physical, audio, and my self-distracting books. And also I'm reading The List on my Kindle, and The List is a contemporary story. I don't know if I mentioned that actually. It's a contemporary story, and it happens like this we start with this couple, whatever the names are. Michael and Ola. So we started with Michael and Ola, and this is happening in London, and they are engaged to be married, and the wedding is like less than a month. And they one day they wake up, everybody wakes up on Monday morning, and there's this list on Twitter of all the men that have been harassing or sexually assaulting women in this kind of like profession, like creative profession, social, kind of like, you know, that kind of stuff, media and stuff. And turns out Michael was on that list. And then Ola works for an online magazine, and her boss gives her a job to write an article about that list. So yeah, this is where I kind of am, and it reads really cool because this is kind of like contemporary times in London as well. So the language is the language that I hear day in, day out, and it just really resonates with me. Not the social circles, it's just a fun read. So yeah, that I read on my Kindle at work mostly. So at work as I mean like on my breaks and stuff like that. So anyway, so that's that. I am currently waiting for my daughter to message me that she has arrived at the station, and we are going to spend the day together. I think we're just gonna have a really nice day. So once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there, and grandmas obviously. And yeah, and I'll chat to you later. I'll catch you later, and I'll chat to you later.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights,
Where's your microphone?
won't stop for traffic lights.
Good, I'm excited.
I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will
I
keep on
really
searching.
wait to see the back of the store. Or my toilet, but yeah, not today. Look at my new tattoo. Last week for Mother's Day, myself and my daughter, we got a ghost tattoo. She's got a Rodeo Joe, a little cowboy ghost. And oh my god, for a second I thought it's not recording. And I got Fred. Fred is a pool ghost. Why I'm here, today is Monday 31st of March, so I officially finished all my reading for March. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit stressed. I feel like I've got so much to record, so much to do. So it's going to be a busy few days for me. What I really wanted to say is like, I'm almost finished with this book. I literally have not that much left. This book is so much fun. I'm literally having such a good time. It is goofy. So I don't know if you like goofy stuff, but it's kind of goofy in places. Imagine that movie The Night at Freddy's or something like this. So it's a little bit along those lines. It's not a very serious one. I've read some reviews, people were saying it's like, oh yeah, no, I didn't see that coming, like it was good until that point. I actually really like it. I'm having a good time with it. So hopefully, I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today, but tomorrow definitely. And then yeah, that will be the first book that I would have finished in April, so that's exciting. Yeah, I like this book. Also, I think I'll be using it for my horror bingo board, because even though it doesn't seem like it, it's a multiple, well, it's not multiple, it's a dual point of view, because we had a part from, oh my god, what is her name? Why am I so bad remembering names? Louise. So we have a part from Louise's brother Mark. He's narrating a few chapters telling about his story, what happened to him. So it's a multiple point of view, which means I can use it for my horror bingo board. And that would mean literally this will do the multiple point of view, and then the book that I'm reading now, the short stories collection, will do my short stories, and then I will be done with both boards. What? In literally April, because yeah, it's gonna be April, in April, and I'm so happy about it. And I'm like, yeah, I need to find some other bingo boards, because I'm having such a good time. I feel like it motivates me to reading and picking up books that maybe I wouldn't have picked up otherwise. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna go because time waits for no one. Hi, I literally just came back from work and I'll be doing mummy duties, but I have finished reading How to Sell a Haunted House today, and it's a 5-star read for me. It's not what you expect, I think, or not what I expected. It's a little bit silly, a little bit goofy in places. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, you probably won't like it. And it doesn't get like this until maybe about halfway through the book, when you find out how certain things get involved in this whole haunted house situation. But then also the things, when you kind of look past the silly, goofy, things are quite sinister, because there's a little child involved in this whole haunted house problem. So I love that book. It was such a good book. I had fun listening to this. The narration was great. Also, I liked the silly, goofy thing. It reminded me a little bit of like Chucky and Annabelle, when an inanimate object becomes possessed. So, if you like that kind of stuff, this is a book for you. If you don't like possessed object or cursed object, I don't think you would enjoy this book so much. But for me, I liked it. I loved it. I think the ending was really good as well. I liked the characters. I liked the dynamic between the brother and the sister in this book. They seem to have a very strained relationship, but throughout the book they work together. And the brother, even though he comes across a little bit of a, he comes across a little bit like a loser, he comes through for his sister, which I really, really like. And I think like deep down, their relationship improved by being involved in this haunted house situation. So I had a really good time with this book. And yeah, I have read My Best Friend's Exorcist as well, and it was a little bit like this. I feel Grady Hendrix, from what I'm kind of getting after reading the 3 books of his that I've read. This one, The Final Ghost Support Group, and I've read 4 actually. My Best Friend's Exorcist and We Sold Our Souls. I think his vibe is kind of like the 80s, and I'm digging that, I'm really digging that vibe. And yeah, was this kind of 80s? It reminded me a little bit of like 80s horror movies and stuff. And also, Grady Hendrix paid tribute to quite a few very well-known movies and books, etc. So it was fun to kind of like find this few Easter eggs. And yeah, I loved it. 5-star book for me, and I highly, highly recommend it. And now Brandon Sanderson's Tress of the Emerald Sea. I have read just under 40 pages. I feel like this book, it's aimed at the very, very young audience. I thought it was a young adult, but in places it reads like it's literally aimed at a child, like a 12-year-old, and more like a middle grade than a young adult. And it's kind of this language that seems in places even quite patronizing. I don't know if I like this. The story could be good, but sometimes I feel like things are being over-explained to us. So for now, I don't mind it, but I think once it starts grinding my gears, I think, yeah, I'll make a decision then. But for now, I'm reading 40 pages in, so not a lot. We'll see how it goes. Mixed feelings as of now. I think I just need to go make a cup of tea. Okay, bye. Hi, I'm back from my tattoo appointment. My black flamingo. You can't see. There it is. So happy with it. It's hearty still. It's very, very fresh. 8 o'clock. I have a couple of hours before I have to go to bed. So I am going to have some dinner because I'm actually quite hungry. And I think I'm just going to chill and maybe do a line on my book blanket for the first book that I finished How to Sell a Haunted House. I need to do that one, and then I'll just see what happens. But I'm planning on a chilled evening. I'm all ready for work, so I don't need to do anything, but I need to eat because girl's hungry. Hi, Saturday I just did my last shift, and from tomorrow I'm off for 2 weeks, so that's nice. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, my reading is probably going to suffer over the next 2 weeks because we have quite a few things planned, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I have an audiobook that I'm listening to, but last night I picked up Tress of the Emerald Sea, and I was like 95 pages, something like this, and I started a new chapter and I DNF'd it. It's 97 pages in. I don't know how many percent. 97 pages is, so it's about a third of the way in. I don't know. It's the writing style and the language that the author used in this book. I feel like he's talking to a child, and it kind of like it grinds my gear. And even though the story is kind of interesting, we follow Tress that is going to rescue her friend Charlie, and she sneaks onto this ship that gets attacked by pirates, but also the world that we live in, there's no water. Everything is just covered in those spores that kind of like burst and grow in contact with any liquid. So we're kind of like in this situation there. So it is an interesting word, but the language used in this book, I feel like it's more suitable for someone much younger. I feel like that would be a good book for like a middle grade. I don't know if this is young adult or middle grade or whatever, but it kind of reads like a middle grade book. And I don't know, I'm just not vibing with it. And I think if I had my own book, I would probably just keep pushing and just keep reading it. But because this is a library book, I have to return it. And to be honest, I can't be bothered to read this anymore. I think the next book I will pick up will be Faithbreaker, but I don't think I'm going to start it before we go away. It's probably when we come back. We'll see. That's it. I am going to go. I literally just came from work, changed, and I'm gonna go get myself a coffee. I actually feel very tired today. And then, yeah, let the annual leave begin.
With you, everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.
Good morning. Long time no see. I have something wrong with my eye. This is not the first time that this is happening. I don't know, it's to do with eye strain or eye allergies or something, but my eyelid is swollen and my eye actually really hurts. So just trying to keep it clean. But we came back from Manchester yesterday. We went up there for a few days to visit Jason's dad, and it was busy. I wasn't reading anything, and honestly, it's just I'm enjoying a time off from work and just doing puzzles and just spending time with Jason and with my son as well. I am basically not reading much, and honestly, I really don't feel guilty about it because I'm just having such a good time. Plus, my eye now is a little bit sore, and even just looking at. We need to paint the fences because next week it's going to rain and we have a lot of fences to paint. And I need to get a haircut because my hair is growing crazy. Oh my gosh. And that's that. Might go to the gym. Oh, I got a couple of new tattoos. That's one, that's two. Tattoo prices are quite cheap up north, so I took advantage of the fact and I got another two for my arm. Yeah, that's all the news.
I love a strawberry side on the side next to you. No wasting time, can you tell me the truth? I'm feeling you, yeah, I'm feeling you. from the stars. Think about you day and night, girl, even when you're not around. I don't want it if it's not with you. Hey, I'm just keeping it straight, cause you got me feeling distracted. Let me show you the way, girl, I don't take it for granted. Why can't we just give it a go? Infatuated more than you know.
I have been all over the place. I honestly have not been reading. I've been picking up the list here and there because that's on my Kindle, and I'm reading some books for my self-destructing books video, but because we spend so much time together and we're doing all these things, I haven't got time to actually concentrate on just reading. So yeah, life, I guess. Tomorrow I have a mummy-daughter day planned, so I'll be meeting Liss in London. I'll be doing some things, so hopefully I'll be able to record bits and pieces from that day out and share with you as well, if I don't forget.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down.
Oh my god, this is so good. I'm trying to figure out the light situation, which is not very good, but never mind. I'm so tired. Oh, had such a good day with my daughter. We had so much fun. We went for this like a boozy brunch, and then we literally had like 7 cocktails in an hour and a half. Highly recommend it. I think it's called Boozy Brunch or something, all bar one. They do it, and afterwards we kind of like went walking around the shops a little bit, and I got a few pieces from Glossier. Let me show you. Ta-da! Went to wash our hands in the ritual store. We always do. This is our ritual. We always wash our hands there. But one of the places we went to is the Glossier store in Covent Garden, and that's my present for JJ. I got a couple of things that I actually really liked. I got this is like an eyeshadow stick or whatever, and this is an eyeliner, and oh my god, this eyeliner is so good. I tried it in a shop. See, this is one thing of, well, 2 things, because I like to have my eyeliner and I like my mascara. Everything else I don't really care, but it's got this focus. So it's a felt tip thing, and it's so soft, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and it lasts forever. I literally had to rub it out with the makeup remover in the shop to actually remove it. So I got this, and I got this lovely eyeshadow stick. Look at that. So nice. Well, you didn't expect a hole. It's just, you probably won't be able to see anything, but it's, yeah. Anyway, so it's so nice because it's nice and creamy, and it's so easy to apply. And yes, Glossier, you can sponsor me now. Wash our hands. Got a few things from the ritual store. And then we head out home. It literally took me nearly 2 hours to get home. It was so bad. I was waiting for a bus for so long. And I come in and I literally just went changed straight into my PJs. But I wanted to show you what I'm doing now. I'm doing a puzzle, but the trick is the picture on the that I'm doing is not the same picture as on the box. So this is what's on the box, and my picture is basically in the future. Anyway, so I'm sitting here doing my puzzles, having so much fun. I'm gonna make another cup of tea. So what I wanted to share with you is the book that I actually started reading, and this is Eric LaRocca at Dark I Become Loathsome, and I have about 50 pages left. And this is about this guy whose wife passes away. She had cancer, she passed away, and then his 8-year-old son gets kidnapped. And this is like, I think 2 or 3 years later, and he's a grieving father, and to cope with his griefs, he starts piercing his face, and he added like different modifications to his body and whatnot. But one of the things that he does for people that have maybe people that are going through mental breakdowns and stuff like that, he basically advertises his services online, I think on like a dark web. And basically what he does, he buries people in the coffins for, I don't know, however long, 30 minutes, an hour, and stuff like that. I still have, like I said, 50 pages to read, and so far in between the story of this guy, Ashley, we also kind of see like extracts from like online chats and stuff like that. And there's this guy he talks to, and he tells him a story, and then there's another story. I don't know, it's a very weird book, and I actually don't know if I like this style. It's very, I don't know, the only way I can describe this book is weird. So anyway, I will continue reading because it's only 50 pages left. And I would like to read at least one book from my April TBR this month. So I will continue reading. Yeah, I'll let you know when I finish. I don't think this is an author for me at this moment in time. So we'll see how it goes.
The clock keeps ticking. I don't know what I should do, and I wish you would be right here with me. My mind is filled with pictures of when we used to dance, but now I don't know where you are. I miss you so bad, won't you come back to me? I've got you in my head.
OMG. I've just finished this book, and honestly, I am so confused. I really don't know what to think about this book. I'm normally cool with any sorts of horror. Like, I don't mind like gruesome stuff, guts, gore, galore, splatterpunk. It doesn't bother me. This book made me feel dirty. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't think this is something that I would like to read. There were subjects in this book. I don't know if I should do spoilers. Okay, so we follow this guy, Ashley, and his wife died of cancer, and then his boy was kidnapped when he was 8 years old. And so this is like 2 years later, and he's dealing with his grief. And like I said before, he puts like piercings He puts piercings in his face, and I think he's added like horns and stuff, and he talks about himself as a monster. And he goes on this forum kind of thing, and he advertises his services to people. It's part of him earning money, but I think it's something that he does also to help him deal with his grief. And so he advertises his services that he does these purifying rituals, and so these people come to him, and he buries them alive for I think like half an hour. I think it depends how much they want, but I think it's like the standard is like half an hour they go under the ground. And some of them he gives them like a oxygen tank to breathe and stuff like that if they're nervous, and there's the whole thing to do around this ritual. So anyway, different people approach him, and one of the people that approaches him over this in this forum and start chatting to Ashley is Jinx. And Jinx tells him a story, and he finds this story arousing, and it kind of makes you feel, it made me feel, I don't know, I just found it I just found this very, very perverse. And also there is this blog that the main character reads, and the story that was told on that blog, it was two men, husbands, and one of them has cancer as well. And I found that story very perverse and very disturbing. I honestly, I don't know, it's just so weird. And then other things happen, and he eventually finds himself at his appointment with Jinx, and Jinx reveals certain things to him. And I don't know, they have this conversation, and during the conversation Jinx describes this scene with the dog, and how I'm not bothered by things. This literally made me want to throw up. It was so bad. So yeah, I don't know what to really think about this book. I am happy that it was so short, because I don't think I could take any more of that. I rated this book 2 stars. This is the first time I have read from Eric La Rocca, and I don't know if all of his stuff is like that. I don't see myself buying physical copies of the books by this author, because I don't think this is something I would be keeping anyway. This will be an unhaul. And yeah, I feel very disturbed, and I just literally feel dirty after reading this book. 100% do not recommend. Yeah, it was a very, very strange book. It was very disturbing. At the same time, I can understand how for people certain things are taboo, and certain things we do not speak of. And I think the subjects that we do not speak of, these taboo subjects, were talked about. Some of these subjects were talked about in this book, and in a way I admire Eric La Rocca to actually have guts to do this and to publish it, because I feel like stuff like this is quite controversial. I don't know. I honestly don't know. On one hand, I am weirded out and I'm disturbed and horrified. On the other hand, I literally have admiration for the author for actually writing this stuff and putting these things on paper. So yeah, it's still a 2-star book for me. It's not something that I will keep. I am honestly not interested in this anymore.
What's it like to be the one that he turns to when he's out of answers? What's it
I
like?
looked at many books, but I ended up buying one, and that book was on a display, and I went looking on the shelves for more copies of this book, and I couldn't see any. So I went to the lady and I was like, oh, excuse me, do you have more copies of this book? And she was like, oh no, it's the last one. And I was like, oh, can I buy it please? And she was like, yes, of course you can. I was like, well, I didn't just want to pick it up off the display. And she was like, no, you can get it. So I actually picked up 3 books there, but I decided only to get this one, and I haven't got a cover for this. It's downstairs, that jacket, but I already started reading it, and it is The Unworthy by Agostina Besterica. This is the author that wrote Tender is the Flesh, and after the success of Tender is the Flesh, for me, when I knew this book is coming out in the UK, and that was on my read list, I wanted to read it, and I saw that yesterday, and I was like, oh, I need to pick it up. I absolutely love the cover. Also the fact that on the cover as well, and as an end papers, we have some really cool bugsies, cockroaches. Oh my gosh, what happened? Why is this so red? And honestly, I didn't really know what the book was about. And so far, all I know, advertises horror. I don't know. Maybe there are a little bit of like horror vibes in there, but it's more of a dystopian thing. So it's kind of like post-apocalyptic times. I'm kind of getting a little bit of a Handmaid vibe. It seems very literary, and the way it was written is kind of like a diary extracts from this girl, this woman that is in this sanctuary. There's levels to this book, okay? But the reason why I think it reminds me a little bit of The Handmaid's Tale is because there's this one sister, whatever her name is, and she walks around with a whip and she punishes them. And a lot of these women, like, there's descriptions of different punishments of bodily harm done to these women, and it's quite disturbing. There was this one scene when one of those unworthy women was chosen to punish another woman, and the punishment that she came up with, oh my god, it literally made my nipples go inwards. Oh, it was horrible, I'm telling you. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on. I still don't know what is happening in this book exactly. There's a lot going on. I feel body horror in this book. I wouldn't say it's good, but it kind of gets to you. So I'm having a really good time. This is a very short book. It's only like 170 pages. I'm on page 68. I started that yesterday. It reads a little bit longer than, like, I take a little bit longer to read this, but I think it's because there is no chapters, and like I said, it's very literary. It's a character study. It's a slow book. So yeah, but I'm having a good time with it. That's it. Also, tomorrow I'm going back to work after 2 weeks of annual leave, so I'm dreading it. Hi. So I have DNF'd a book today. I DNF'd the list. I was on my meal break and I was reading on my Kindle, and I got to page 167 on my Kindle, and that was about 47% of the book, and I gave up, and I just had enough. So this book, I don't know how much I told you about it in which vlog. So anyway, we start with this couple, Ola and Michael, and they're both black people, and they're kind of like quite big on social media because they work in a media industry. And one day this list comes up online on Twitter only for 24 hours. This was a list of men who were known for sexual assaults, harassment, and groping and stuff like that in this industry, in like media industry. And this list was created by women for women, and it was only live for 24 hours. And turns out that Michael was on this list. Someone put him on this list. So Michael and Ola are supposed to get married, and I think we start with like 3 weeks before the wedding and stuff like that. And she finds out that he's on this list, so obviously she's questioning him, and she also is a journalist, so she's been told to write an article about the list, which obviously she doesn't want to do because Michael is on the list. So now she doesn't know whether she can trust him. Is this true? He also cheated on her and she knows about it, so the situation between them is complicated. So the 3 weeks before the wedding, we're trying to find out whether Michael is actually rightly accused or not, but there was literally nothing going on. For nearly half of the book, there was nothing going on apart from like the inside monologues and inside thought processes of them, you know, just thinking the same thing over and over again, same explanations, same chats with friends. And I just got so fed up. It was literally, I think I got to the point where it was like 3 days before the wedding and I just had enough. I was so bored, I didn't even care if she cancelled the wedding or not. I don't think it's a book for me. It's a contemporary book, fiction. It's not a romance, it's not a thriller. I don't think, I wasn't thrilled. So I don't even know. It's kind of like contemporary fiction, I guess. But it's just not a book for me. Nah, man. It's not for me. So anyway, if you enjoyed this book, good for you. I didn't. And I'm going to read something else. And I actually started reading Rest Stop by Nat Cassidy. I don't know if it's a collection of short stories or something, but yeah, apparently horror stuff as well. So I'm excited for that. It's only short. I feel like for me, I find it easy to read short books on the Kindle because I only read at work, and when I have something short, it doesn't take me a few months to finish it. I prefer short things like novellas and stuff like that because I know I can read it quick and I can get into the book a little bit better than, you know, if I take a 2-week break, for example, like I did from the list. Maybe also this is what the fault is, because I was taking breaks from reading the list and I just couldn't get into the story too well enough, I guess. But tonight, my plans are finish reading The Unworthy. I have about 40 or 30 pages left. I was going to finish it yesterday, but it was getting so late and I had work today, so I had to go to sleep. But first, I need to kind of just tidy up a little bit. I'm off tomorrow, so I have plans for tomorrow. But as soon as I finish, I'm going to finish The Unworthy. And then I need to catch up with my book blanket because the end of April is so near, is so close. Literally next week, we're gonna be in May, which is absolutely crazy. So I need to catch up on my book blanket, and that's the plans for today. Haircut tomorrow and gym tomorrow. Yay! Magnificent lighting, but it doesn't matter. It's quite late. I am about to head to bed, because I feel quite tired. But I wanted to tell you that I have finished reading The Unworthy by Agustina Besterica, and oh my gosh, what a book. This is such a powerful dystopian story. Okay, so this is happening in some post-apocalyptic time. We don't know when, we don't know where. And the main setting of this novella is the house of the sacred sisterhood. And from what I understood from the story is that used to be not covenant, because covenant is nuns, the place that monks live. But now it houses the sacred sisterhood, and the head of the sisterhood is he. They don't give him name, you just call it he, and he's got a the senior sister there is, or sacred sister, whatever the name is, that the main sister of the sisterhood is this what seems like a ex-military woman, and the whole sisterhood is kind of divided in like there's 3 or 4 different levels. They're the servants that have no rights, they're like the people with like diseased bodies and stuff like that, and then you have the unworthy. And then you have 3 levels of kind of like of accession. You have the minor saints, and these are the women whose eyes are being sewn shut. Then you have the enlightened, or the chosen ones, whose eardrums are pierced, and then you have the enlightened that have their tongues cut out. So kind of like see no evil, hear no evil, say no evil. So, and they all live in this kind of like a cloister, whatever it's called, this monastery. This is the word I was looking for. It's an ex-monastery. And like I said, it's happening in this post-apocalyptic times. And this whole story is told by a unnamed narrator, and it's told in the form of diary entries. So through her diary entries, we find out a little bit of what happened before she got to the sisterhood, and we find out how the sisterhood is organized and what's happening, like all the mutilation that's going on, all the torture that's going on in there. It is quite disturbing in places. It is quite graphic. There is, if you like body horror, there's quite good body horror, but it's good, but it's subtle. So it's kind of like, it's not in your face. It's really subtle. And I think the whole book is quite subtle. Like, we never found out what the name of the narrator is, the author of the diary. We never actually found out what really happened. It's just bits and pieces, how we got to the point. But generally it was just so engaging, and I was so intrigued. And I thought it's going to be a little bit like Tender is the Flesh, and it is so different. And I feel a lot of people wanted to have a very similar story to Tender is the Flesh, and maybe they were disappointed with this. For me, even though it is a literary horror, or a very literary piece of work, and I don't always enjoy this type of writing, I really did enjoy this one. I was so engaged, I was so intrigued. I felt empathy towards the characters, towards the women, but also a sense of hope as well. And this also is a telling of a love story as well. And I don't know, I just find it really difficult to talk about this book, because there wasn't a lot going on, but there was so much going on. I just found this book so moving. Like towards the end, I was really close to tears. I didn't cry, but I was close to tears. I felt quite emotional, because it's amazing for me that in such horrible place, good things can happen as well. And doesn't matter how bad, there's always hope. And I feel like for me, this is kind of like the message of the story, that doesn't matter how bad things get, there's always hope. And I loved it. I loved this book. I rated it 5 stars, and I'm so happy I got it. I love this book. I think it's the type of a book that not everybody would enjoy, and I think I would struggle to recommend it to people. I think you need to have a very specific taste for a book like that. So that's my review. I am back from the gym and all the things that I was doing. My camera isn't here, so I'm recording on my phone. The quality is probably not as good. I think I had my hair cut, and it's the first time that I'm not really happy with my haircut, or the way she cut my hair. She left this right side so much longer, and I was like, I can't have this. You need to take it off, because it's supposed to be like this. I was like, no, I can't have this. It looks ridiculous. I literally look like a Karen. So yeah, I'm home now, and I've done legs in the gym. I trained legs, and I went shopping, and I need to unpack this stuff. And then I think later on I'm gonna sit down and I need to catch up on my book blanket because I am so far behind. I literally didn't do any books that I've read in April on my book blanket, so I think I need an audiobook. And I've just had 2 holds came through from the library. One of them is Where the Dark Stands Still by Polish author, something Poranek, and it's kind of like a fantasy retelling of like some of the Polish legends and stuff like that. And then the second one is We Used to Live Here, which I have, and I'm kind of tempted with that one because that would take off another book from my physical TBR as well, so that would be fantastic. So I think this is what I'm gonna do: put my headphones on, put my shopping away, and then go and sort out my book blanket. Hello, it's literally nearly 10 o'clock in the evening, and I had to force myself to stop listening to that book, We Used to Live Here. Oh my god, this thing is so good. Oh, I don't even know how to describe it. I have about 50 pages left. 50 physical pages. I could probably read that in about an hour, but no, it's literally, I feel like I'm out. I left this book downstairs, okay, because I knew if I'm gonna take it upstairs with me, I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole and I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna finish it, and tomorrow I'm gonna suffer at work because unfortunately I have work tomorrow. If I didn't, I'll be up reading this book, but I have to go to bed, so never mind. So this book is crazy, okay? I'm literally on the edge of my seat. I was doing my blanket, listening to this, and my friend walked in and I literally jumped and screamed, and I scared the shit out of her because the scene that was being described, oh my god, I don't even know. There's so much weird stuff going on in this book, and I feel like especially the audiobook is such a good audiobook because you just have to listen to this to understand what I'm talking about. I feel like when you look at the text in a book, you can kind of see what the text is going, because obviously with your eyes you would scan a little bit more. With an audiobook, you can see what you're reading, and all you have is your sense of hearing. And the narrator, the woman that reads this book, is creating such fantastic tension with her narration. Oh my god, it's literally one of the best audiobooks I have listened to in a very, very long time. This book for the audiobook only should get a 5-star. I think that this book is literally made for an audiobook. Anyway, I'm so upset that I have to go to work tomorrow because I wish I didn't have to and I could stay up and read, but I do, and I have to turn my lights off literally like 5 minutes ago. So it's not ideal. Anyway, now I have to go. Good night. I'll get back to you tomorrow when I finish that book. Good afternoon. I just came back from work and I need a little bit of a pick-me-up, so I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. So anyway, I actually finished reading a book today. I think I mentioned I picked it up after I've DNF'd the list, and it's Rest Stop. It was like a novella. It was like 130 pages, something like that, and I was at work for about 7 o'clock. But because I was a spare driver, I didn't get a job till about 11:15. So I sat in the mess room and I was reading, and I finished it all in one sitting. Oh my gosh, what a book. I'm not even joking. This novella, in such a small amount of... I need to turn this up. In such a small amount of pages, just 130 pages, this novella packed such a punch. Oh my gosh. And oh my gosh, it literally had everything. So we start with this guy. He's on the road, he's driving. Is it winter? I don't know if it's winter. But anyway, so he's driving. And that reminded me a lot about No Exit by Taylor Adams, where we had a girl driving as well because her mom was in a hospital and she stopped by this like rest stop. So anyway, so we started with this guy, Abe. He's driving, and he is driving because his grandma had a stroke and she's in the hospital and she needs to go and see her before the worst happens. And he stops by this rest stop. He needs to pick up some snacks because it's like late at night. So he's going to pick up some snacks and he's going to fill up as well. And he goes into this service station and there's literally no one there. And he's picking his snacks and everything. He can't see anyone. And then he decides to go into the bathroom. And then he tries to exit and turns out someone's locked the door from outside. And the whole fun starts. And oh my gosh, I tell you what was good. I tell you what did it for me. There are creepy crawlies in there, spiders, snakes and stuff like that. And reading the scenes about the spiders and snakes and stuff, it literally gave me that feeling of unease. And I was reading this. I was reading this on my Kindle at work, and I was like, I was literally like this. There's also quite a few gory scenes. No, maybe not few, but there's like a good gory scene as well described. And there's also one with body horror. And it comes to like mutilations and stuff like that. This book, I am not joking. Cut the long story short, I rated that book 5 stars, and I so want to read more from Nat Cassidy, because if everything else is like this novella, I want to be in that world that he creates, because I was so tense, and the physical reactions I had to reading his words, I love that feeling. And for me, this is a 5-star book. When my body reacts to something physically, like, I absolutely love that. I am going to make myself a cup of tea, a fancy tea, and my son suggested we order a pizza tonight, so that's better for me because I don't have to cook. And I'm going to sit down and work on my book blanket. I've managed to catch up yesterday. I think I've done like 6, maybe 5-6 rows, so 5-6 books. So I still got few to do, and I'm going to finish listening to We Used to Live Here. I know a lot of people get confused by the ending, so I am curious to see what the ending is about, why people are getting confused, and hopefully I won't be confused. I think I know where the story is going, and I think I consider myself quite open-minded to actually trust in the author, and I'm hoping I'm not gonna get disappointed. I finished reading We Used to Live Here by Marcus Klewer. Just to give you a quick kind of like a recap, there's this house on like some isolated hill somewhere in Oklahoma. So 2 women, Eve and Charlie, they buy this house for cheap and they're supposed to flip it. So basically refurbish it and sell it for profit. And they move in and they've been there for about a month. And one evening, when Eve is at home on her own, this family knocks on the door and the guy says, "Hi, my name is Thomas. I used to live in this house as a boy. Do you mind if I show my family around?" Eventually, after some deliberation, she agrees and she lets them in. And everything is okay. He notices certain things around the house that maybe are different, or maybe they've been like, I don't know, fixed or whatever. And then when they're supposed to go, the little girl that was with them, Jenny, his daughter, she hides in the basement. And they're like, oh, she always does that. They try looking for her, but she's not coming out. And so they end up staying for dinner. And when they're supposed to go, there's this snowstorm or something. And the only way out of town, this bridge is closed to the public and they have to stay the night. So things start to happen at night. This man goes sleepwalking, and even Charlie, they kind of get him inside the house and he starts telling him different stories, and things get weird from there. And this is the type of a book that reminded me a lot about Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, because we have what we think we have is kind of like alternate universe or parallel universe and stuff like that, and there's like you kind of like you never know where you're gonna be, who you're gonna be with, in what kind of like timeline and stuff like that. And Eve is on this kind of like not journey, but she's the one that she's the one that can feel and see things happening, and no one else around her apparently feels the same way. So it also, there's a lot of twists, there's a lot of turns, there's a lot of psychological suspense in here as well. And you know, at some point she feels like she's being gaslighted as well. She doesn't know what is real, what is not real, and it's just like, as a reader yourself, you also keep guessing like which one is real. And I understand why people are confused by the ending, but in my opinion, this ending was never supposed to be clear at all. It's supposed to be confusing. The ending reminded me how I felt after reading The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I was so ambiguous. You actually didn't know what happened. And I feel with this one it's exactly the same thing. This is such an ambiguous ending. And I believe that this way we can pick our own version. If you want this to be this way, yeah, that's fine. If you want it to be this way, yeah, that's fine as well. Because the author gives you this choice to pick. What do you want to believe? And it's just, I feel like books like this are so much fun. I absolutely loved this book. And especially because I was listening to this via audio, I highly recommend the audiobook, because the narrator, she's done such a great job narrating this book. I felt like she really portrayed what the author wanted to show us. Her narration was amazing, her pronunciation, her reading, and the author wanted to create this tension and this dread and this suspense, and she's done an amazing job reading this story. And like, I don't know if I told you yesterday when I was recording my little clip in the bedroom, at one point I was listening to this and I literally had a knot in my stomach. That's how tense I was. I was on the edge of my seat. Like, for the majority of this book, I literally felt like I had this knot here, like my stomach is literally in bits. And I was listening to this with this all tension building up, and this I don't know, I felt anxious listening to this book. So I'm doing my blanket, and then suddenly my friend comes in and I'm like, ah! Scared the shit out of her because she didn't expect me to start screaming. This is how tightly wound up I was listening to this book. It is such an amazing book. I highly recommend it. Needless to say, I rated it 5 stars. Such a great book. I need to read more of this type of stories, because I feel like these are one of my favorite stories. Like, I love Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I love this one. If you have any recommendations of a very similar topics, subjects, yeah, go ahead, let me know in the comments. I have House of Leaves on my bookshelf, and because this is such a big book, I am so scared to actually start reading it because of its size. But I think, do you know what, I'm gonna go for it, because even if it takes me 3-4 months to finish it, I want to read it, because apparently in House of Leaves there's a very similar situation with like house being this presence as well. So absolutely love that book. Highly recommend listening to the audiobook of this. Fantastic narration. She's done a great job reading this amazing book. Anyway, and on that note, let me finish this vlog here, because it's a whole month of reading for me. I already picked up a few more things that I'm reading, but there's no point of me putting them in this vlog because I will never finish all this. by the end of April. So I'll probably, in my next video, I'll be telling you about all the fantastic books that I've picked up and I'm reading now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it if you did. Let me know in the comments, leave me recommendations for the books of this type, or like Dark Matter or We Used to Live Here, if you know of any. If you haven't seen my latest video, my reading vlog, my book review, you should be seeing a video on your screen right now. And for now, I thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you next time.